Okay, I'm gonna run through our talking points.
Awesome.
Um,
I'll answer with what I have right now.
okay. Welcome into the Bushnell live stream. I'm Isaac Doobie, alongside Olivia Arcenega. Tonight, senior night for Bushnell, but last night, Beacons snapped a three-match losing streak. 3 matches, that was their longest losing streak in conference play. They won over Northwest 3-1. Oh, this isn't plugged in. This, gotcha. Bushnell snaps their losing streak 3-1 off of Hyder's historic night. 27 kills, an incredible stat line. 20 digs, 4 blocks, 2 service aces, and she's the first Beacon to have 25 or more kills in 2 matches on the season.
Me? Yeah, I mean, you can't state enough how much of a historic night Hyder had. On top of how many kills she racked up, she became the 5th hitter in Bushnell history to have a 2020 game that is recording more than 20 kills and more than 20 digs as an outside hitter, being that player that you can rely on to rotate and give their best effort all around the court. She also hit very efficiently. On the season, she's hitting about 164. Last night, she hit 379 on the night. So her swings were connecting.
Quick.
between the visiting Evergreen State and your Bushnell University Beacon. Tonight is the final regular season home game for the 2024 season, and at this time we'd like to honor 6 seniors for their contributions to Beacon volleyball during their careers. But first, please help us thank and congratulate the seniors from Evergreen. Number 1, Molly Packer. Number 10, Yasmin Dilworth. Number 12, Vicente Perez. Number 13, Mallory Calzadilla. And number 15, Marin Collins. And number 24, Kaya Brown. Congratulations, Evergreen. And now for your Beacon. First, we honor Aria Guerra. Aria is in her first season of the Beacon after transferring from Texas A&M International University. She has played in 24 matches this season and collected 210 kills. She collected a season-high 17 kills and hit .577 against Multnomah on October 12th. Aria is accompanied by her parents Lulu and Hector Guerra, her sister Illy, and her brother Hector Jr. Congratulations, Ariana. Next, we honor McKenna Mosier. Mosier has been with the Beacon for 2 years since transferring from Bellevue College. She has played in 54 matches, collecting 207 kills. Her 197 career blocks ranked 8th all-time for the Beacon. And just last night, she earned career highs with 9 kills and 9 blocks. McKenna is accompanied by her parents, Darla and Ron Mosier. Congratulations, McKenna. Next, we honor Elijah Sanders. Elijah has been with the Beacon for 2 seasons since transferring from Lane Community College. She has played in 44 matches, collecting 582 assists, which ranks 10th on Bushnell's all-time list. She collected a career-high 31 assists back on October 4th against Evergreen State. Elijah is accompanied by her mom, Jody, stepdad, Wayne, her dad, Jamie, her sister, Landon, and her grandparents, Mari and Roger Steiner. Congratulations, Elijah. Next, we honor Brooklyn Deshawn. Brooklyn has played in 3 of the last 4 seasons for the Beacon, playing in 35 matches. She has earned 60 kills and 80 blocks in her career, and earned a career-high 7 kills against Northwest last night. Brooklyn is accompanied by her mom, Nicole, her brother Blake, her grandparents, Mima and Peepaw Shannon. Congratulations, Brooklyn. Next, we honor Maddie Ladd. Maddie Ladd is in her 4th season with the Beacon and played in 346 sets. She ranked 3rd all-time for the Beacon with 284 blocks, and she is 2nd with 257 block assists. Maddie was the first team All-Cascade Collegiate Conference selection in 2023. Maddie is accompanied by her parents, Jenny and Jerry, her grandma, Georgine, and her boyfriend, Todd. Congratulations, Maddie. And finally tonight, we honor Bella Parquet. Bella is in her 4th season with Beacon and has played in over 400 career sets, which ranks 3rd in school history. She also ranks 9th all-time in service aces and 6th all-time in digs with 1,231. Last season, she broke Bushnell's single-season record with 5.15 digs per set and was named an all-CCC honorable mention. Bella is also a 3-time CCC Defensive Player of the Week. Bella is accompanied by her parents Janine and Jim, her sister Peyton, and her grandpa Papa. Let's hear it one more time for our seniors, Ari, McKenna, Elijah, Brooklyn, Maddie, and Bella. Congratulations, Senior Beacon. Once again, welcome to the Moore Center for tonight's Cascade Conference volleyball match between the Division Evergreen State College Julia and your Bushnell University Beacon. Bushnell welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to tonight's contest. As a member of the NAIA and the Cascade Collegiate Conference, we are committed to the true spirit of competition as champions of character, embracing 5 core values of respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. Thank you for helping us uphold those values throughout tonight's contest. At this time, will you please rise if you're able and join us for our opening prayer, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Would you bow? Gracious God, we have 3 thank yous and 2 requests this evening. First of all, thank you for the safe arrival of our friends from Evergreen. Thank you for the joy of support and how it calls us to gratitude. Thank you for the challenge of competition and how it shapes character. We ask tonight you give a safe return home after the game and on the play on the court. Most of all, we ask you bring out the best in all of us, in the stands, and these amazing student athletes on the court. In Christ's name we play and pray. Amen. Here now with starting lineups. Beginning first with the visiting Evergreen State Bulldogs. At libero, 5'6" junior from Vancouver, Washington, Molly Packer. In the back, 5'2" junior from Hillsborough, Washington, 23, Zepeda. At center, 5'5" junior from Wyoming.
It's a bittersweet evening for the Beacons tonight at Morse Center, as the arena is covered in balloons, streamers, and decorations as the Beacons celebrate their graduating seniors. 6 players will be moving on from the Bushnell program, and tonight they will compete in their final regular season match in Morse Center. Nonetheless, the team's eyes are set on one goal: maintaining the 4th spot in the conference and holding on to their automatic bid at the NAIA National Tournament. Tonight, the 2nd Washington School of the Weekend travels to Eugene and Evergreen State to give the Beacons all they can handle. Welcome into the Bushnell live stream. I'm Isaac Doobie alongside Olivia Arcenega. And last night, the Beacons, a great performance from Haley Hyder. We announced that she actually got the record of 27 kills, but she tied the Beacon record. She's the 3rd player to do it. She had 27 kills. Again, tied a Beacon record for the most kills in a match. She also had 20 digs. She's the first Beacon to have 25 or more kills in 2 separate matches this season. She helped Bushnell end their 3-match losing streak last night with a 3-set 1-1 win over Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say enough how much Haley Hyder played a role in last night's match. She was only the 5th hitter in Bushnell history to have a 20-20 game, that being 20 kills, or 27 kills, excuse me, and then 20 digs throughout the entire match, and that's just phenomenal. She also tacked on 4 blocks and 2 aces. She hit 379 on the night, which is very efficient for her. On the season, she's hitting 164, but again, was able to put the ball down in the right places. She, like you said, tied Bushnell's record for kills in a single match. There's only 2 other players that previously have hit 27, and that was back when the record was set in 2006 and 2010.
And looking at this Evergreen State team, right now, a 5-match losing streak. They just went to Corbin, went to Salem, lost against that team, but one of their strengths, they have a lot of success getting blocks. They're in the top half of the conference in getting blocks, and Bushnell at the bottom of the conference in getting blocked.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a team that, you know, may struggle a little bit offensively, but is really, really strong defensively. We have a player like Molly Packer coming in, who's first in the CCC in digs per set. She is phenomenal. She is going to dig up whatever is thrown down at her. So Bushnell's challenge tonight is going to be to find the holes in the defense, especially where Molly Packer isn't. But I mean, besides that, Evergreen's also really good in terms of blocks per set. They are 6th in the CCC for blocks per set, which is really good. So you're going to have the challenge of getting the ball over the net in the first place over Evergreen's tall middle blockers, making sure that you're putting the ball down the back row where Molly Packer isn't to be found. So this is going to be an interesting game for Bushnell, but I'm sure they're up for the challenge.
Molly Packer, formerly at Tacoma Community College and MSU Billings. She's on her 1st year on the team. She leads the conference in digs per set, is the defensive leader for this Evergreen State Geoducks team. This Geoducks team 4-19 overall on the year, 10th in the conference on a 5-match losing streak. They're 2-10 on the road, but come in here tonight to play this Beacons team and upset them. Starters are on the floor for both teams. For Bushnell, it's Katie Bielitz, McKenna Mosier, Adi Guetta, Jesse Matthews, Maddie Ladd, and Amaya Samau. Saw Adi Guetta listed as a starter. And for Evergreen State, Kaya Brown, Amaya Lynn Cepeda, Jessica Mitchell, Walker Campbell, that's Ashley Walker Campbell, and Zosha Formella are the starters for the match. The contest for bragging rights in the Pacific Northwest is about to get underway. And from right to left, it's put in play by Jessica Mitchell. Beacons, Ladd on the attack, she's sent back. And Hyder, she ends up getting the kill. Her first of the night, the first point for the Beacons. It's 1-0 in the first set.
That's just an excellent swing from Hyder there. You can see that she met the ball at its highest point of contact, which is phenomenal. That's exactly what you want to do, especially as an outside hitter. Excellent swing on her part.
Leads the team in kills per set. Cook launches across the service, lines it right over the net. It's dug out in the back row by the Geoducks. Giving a free ball to the Beacons is Walker Campbell. Mosier in the middle, the senior, but it's dug up beautifully by Packer. They send a emergency ball to the Beacons. Hyder whacks. Somehow keeps it alive just at the net, won by the Geoducks. And Evergreen State finds their first point of the night.
That point right there is a perfect example of everything that Bushnell is going to have to look out for, whether it's Jessica Mitchell as their setter at the net, Molly Packer in the back row digging up balls, and the block that they had on that outside position. Bushnell's going to need to find a way to overcome that.
Lucendi Perez, the senior outside hitter. 11 service aces on the year. She puts this one in play. Parquet receives it, somehow winds up from the back row, kept alive beautifully by the Geoducks. Walker Campbell sends one over. Ladd tries to make the diving dig, but it soars out of bounds.
And that's tough, and that's, again, something Bushnell is going to have to figure out as well, is their defense, making sure that that campfire zone in the middle of the court is not left open for Evergreen to attack.
Put in play by Perez. Somehow receives it in the back row. Hyder right down the middle, hammers that ball right down.
Even if Evergreen was able to get a block up there, that ball is coming down with so much force that there is nothing that's going to stop Haley Hyder from putting that ball on the floor.
So Hyder continues the impressive night she had last night into this match. Carries that momentum. She has 2 kills, the first 2 points for the Beacons. And it's tied at 2 in the first set. Beacons send over the service. Attacked by the Geoducks. Is kept alive by the Beacons. Parquet sends over a free ball. Perez on the first touch. And the attack by Evergreen State is long.
And I like the attempt there from Evergreen's outside hitter, Yasmin Dilworth. She just missed the point of contact, though, where she's supposed to hit the ball.
Sanders hurls this across. Packer trying to get underneath it. Flies into the Geoducks bench. And it's a service ace for the Beacons.
Sanders is one of those consistent servers you want to have at the line. She added a service ace to Bushnell's stat line last night. She did it again tonight.
She lines this one into the net right on cue. Just her 36th service error of her year. Gives the Geoducks the side out. Beacons still lead the set 4-3 in the first set. Hyder in awkward play, trying to pop that one in the air. And Kaya Brown collects the first service ace for Evergreen State. She takes her time, dribbles it a couple times, fires it across. Parquet receives it. Samau wallops that ball, but it's saved by Perez in the back row. Tapped over by Brown. Mosier sends it over on 2. And a down ball by Brown. Sent over. Samau digs it out. Hyder on the far pin, cracking into the near flag official. She says, no, they'll say it's tipped off the front line of the Geoducks block. And it's a point for the Beacons. Hyder stepping behind the service line.
That's an excellent swing, and this is exactly one of the players that you want to have at your service line right now if you need to run this early in the game.
Hyder also had 2 service aces last night. She launches this ball across, and it's right on the back line. Haley Hyder does everything for the Beacons, offensively, defensively, and she has 36 service aces on the year, make that second on the team. Hyder fires this ball across. Perez receives it in the back row. On the far pin, Walker Campbell launches an attack too far.
These past few plays have really shown Haley Hyder's volleyball IQ right there, following the ball to the back line to ensure that it's not landing inbounds, making sure her body is there just in case it does.
A 3-0 run for the Beacons gives them a 3-point lead in the first set. She rockets this serve in play. It's received. Brubaker goes down the line, and that attack is wide of the mark.
Again, another good follow by Bushnell's defense, making sure they're following the ball right to the line and it doesn't land inbounds.
It was actually Dilworth with the attack error on that previous play. Beacons double up on the Geoducks. They lead 8-4 in the first set as Haley Hyder lines this serve into the net.
Haley Hyder, as good as she is from the service line, she also leads the team in service errors. However, with as powerful of a swing as she has, more often than not, that ball is going to land. And even though it's not recorded as a service ace, you can't understate how powerful her serve is.
Calls Diaz behind the service line. Team leader in assists. She puts this ball in play. Mosier goes down the seam. Dug up by Calzadias. Calzadias has to send an overpass to the Beacons. Parquet with the bump set. Deschamps, cross court, plays it up. It does Packer. On the far pin, cracked on, and it's a point for the Geoducks as it goes off the Bushnell block.
That's a tough read there for Elijah Sanders when you have a cross-court shot sent by Evergreen State. You want to extend an arm and attempt to get the ball, but it's tough to do that.
Beacons lead 8-6 in the first set. Serve is in play from the Geoducks. August on the far pin, enters into the game, and right away gets a kill. She's been missing. She missed the last few matches, missed all of last weekend, missed last night, but she returns. The team leader in hitting percentage. Gets a kill right away. Parquet puts this one in play. In the middle, Formella can't get the kill. Hyder from the back row. That attack is too wide.
Something Bushnell's been doing really well is putting balls down from the back row. You've seen Haley Hyder, Samau taking a couple swings from the back row. And the ability to get as much power as they are on their swings from the back row is really impressive.
Put in play by Cepeda. Deschamps goes down the line. That attack is long over the back line. No, it's a point. They say it goes off the block. There's a little bit of confusion on that call there. But it's a point for the Beacons. They lead 10-7 in the first set. So Leah August coming in to the match. Her first playing time in 4 matches. She's 6 matches with 10 or more kills this year. She gets an early kill here. Packer receives a service from Belitz. On the outside, Formella puts that one down off the Beacon block.
Formella is just a very powerful middle for Evergreen State. She's able to put the ball down, so much power, and she also does very well on the blocking efforts too.
Packer lofts this one in play. Parquet receives it. Hyder hammers from the back row, goes off the block and out of play. 11-8, Beacons lead it and get a side out, and Leah August stepping behind the service line. Didn't see that very often this year. She has no service aces and no errors the entire season. She runs into it, springs this one across. Stuck up in the back row by the Geoducks. On the far pin, off the block and out of bounds. Another kill for the Geoducks.
And it looks like Bushnell's body positioning was just a little bit off there on that block. Maybe the outside and the middle blocker didn't connect quite there. Their hands might have been a little separated, not pointed down enough. And that caused the ball to go out of bounds.
Scroggins gets the kill on that last point. Put in play by the Geoducks. Matthews tries to tip it over, but not enough power on that ball to send it over the net.
Jessie Matthews, a player that's starting to see time again ever since October 9th. She's very smart on that decision, just need a little bit more power to get the ball over.
Mitchell fires this ball across for the serve. Parquet receives it. Samau winds up, cracks, and hammers it off the block for the kill for Bushnell and the Beacons.
Samau is just such a threat from that back row. She added 9 kills to last night's stats for the Beacons. She's just phenomenal as a passer, as an attacker.
Side out for Bushnell as they lead 12-10. And the freshman Julia Cook serving from left to right. She fires this one across. It's received by Evergreen State. Geoducks met at the line. They send it over on 2 on the second attempt. And they say it's a point for Evergreen State, and they get the side out right back.
That's the exact zone that Bushnell's going to need to figure out how to defend that campfire zone right in the middle of the court. It's very hard whether you want your wings to pinch in or you got to communicate with the person whoever's in the middle, see if they want to pinch in as well.
Perez lost across the service. Hyder receives it. Mosier taps it into the middle. Diving dig made by Evergreen State. Poked over by Brubaker, doesn't fall. Hyder on the far pin. She wallops. That attack again is too far.
It's a very nice bump set though by Bella Parquet, who's not the setter, obviously playing in the libero position, but able to get the ball high enough with a backwards bump set for Hyder to take a swing at.
Tied at 12 as Perez puts this ball in place. Samau receives it in the back row. Ladd on the near pin, off the block, out of bounds as Ladd hammers that ball home for the kill. Beacons with another side out, lead them the first set 13-12.
Maddie Ladd's one of those players that has found herself in the middle position a lot. Really, really good on the block.
Sanders to put it in play. She lines this across. Packer receives it. Set to the far pin for Walker Campbell, and she puts that one down. Walker Campbell coming off a season-high 12 kills and 4 blocks against her former team last night at Corbin in Salem. She collects the kill there. And this one's put in play by Brown. Somehow goes low to receive it. Hyder on the far pin, tries to slam that one down, but the block is there, and Walker Campbell in on the block for the Geoducks. Geoducks take the lead, their first lead of the first set, 14-13, with Brown to serve it away. She slaps this one over. Parquet receives it. Bump set for Samau. She winds up on that one. Parquet makes the play as it gets rejected. Deschamps sends over an overpass. Sent over on 2 by the Geoducks. Samau digs it up. Hyder goes down the line. It's a point for Evergreen State, now with a 2-point lead in the first set.
And Bushnell really needs to start finding their rhythm here, especially with their attacks. They're putting the ball down with so much force, they're just not landing inbounds. They're gonna have to find a way to change their hand positioning.
Brown serving from right to left. Samau awkwardly receives it. Down ball by Hyder is dug up in the back row by the Geoducks. In the middle, Formella able to find that deep corner. Just flip that one over for a kill. And Coach Corwin takes a timeout to talk things over as Bushnell and the Beacons have given up the lead. They had a significant lead, and we're really controlling most of this first set, even though it has been a bit back and forth, but now Evergreen State with all the momentum as they lead by 3.
Yeah, and Bushnell's really going to need to collect themselves here in this timeout, figure out what's going wrong, maybe start to use some of their other options. They've used Parquet in the back, especially Samau in the back with a back row attack, and although those balls are flying, they're being dug up very well by Evergreen. You're hitting your outsides a lot. Maybe try to start targeting your middle blockers if you can get a good dig up. Target your opposite hitters as well. That's going to throw Evergreen off a little bit, but Evergreen, credit to them, is also doing a really fantastic job defensively. You see players such as Formella right in that middle blocker. She's one of the main reasons that Evergreen State is so good at the net. She's able to connect with both her outside hitters and her opposites, make sure that their hands are in place together. So credit to them, they're playing having a very good defensive show tonight.
You mentioned some of the other players stepping up, and of course Haley Hyder was a storyline last night, and what an impressive performance she had. But you also had a lot of other players step up last night and have career nights and season best performances in Amaya Samau, Mosier, and Deschamps, each having career and season highs in some sort of statistic. Brown, she hauls this one across. Samau goes low to receive it. Hyder on the far pin, roll shot into the middle. Brown sends it over on 1, back to the Beacons. In the middle, Mosier taps it. It's a point for the Beacons off a fault by the Geoducks. Beacons with the side out of the timeout.
That's exactly what you hope to see coming out of a timeout, especially for Bushnell. You kind of collect yourself, regain momentum, and now you're sending Haley Hyder to the service line, which is exactly one of the players that you want there for Bushnell to make a run.
Teams are even at 8 kills apiece. As Hyder rockets the serve into play, it's dug up by the Geoducks. Walker Campbell floats that one. Sanders gets underneath it. August on the far pin. Cut shot right down the middle. Leah August with her second kill of the night on as many attacks.
Leah August, definitely one of those players that Bushnell has missed due to injury. Exciting to see her back tonight on senior night.
Hyder jogs into it, slaps this across. It's a low arcing serve that falls way out of play for a service ace after it's touched by the Geoducks, and a timeout for Coach Bounds of the Geoducks to talk things over, as Evergreen State had a 3-point lead, and then Bushnell went on a 3-0 run to grab and tie this, grab control and tie this thing up at 16.
And Bushnell has struggled a little bit recently due to players being out with injury. You had Leah August, you had Adi Guerrera, you have Ashlyn Ty out with injuries. 3 players who really are, if not always on the court, rotational players that make an impact, So you do need to rely on other members to step up. Like you mentioned, you had McKenna Mosier last night who recorded a career-high 9 kills. And she's going to need to step up tonight and find connection with either Elijah Sanders or Katie Belitz. Make sure that you can get that connection, because when your setter and your middle blocker are on together, whether the setter's giving them a 2-ball or a 5-ball, they have so much direction on the court. They're not swinging one way or another. They can put the ball down on the left side, deep, on the right side, tip it over. It's just really hard unless you have a good dig. So you'd like to see Bushnell start getting the ball up to their setter, getting that connection with their middle blockers, and letting McKenna Mosier did exactly what she did last night.
They have 2 senior middle blockers on the floor right now in Brooklyn Deschamps and McKenna Mosier. Deschamps been playing more outside with the injuries to Guetta, Ty, and August. She's in on the right side right now as the ball is in play, and a miscommunication sends a free ball to the Beacons. Deschamps winds up on the right side, but that is immediately rejected by the Geoducks.
That's Yasmin Dilworth from Evergreen State, another powerful outside hitter this time, and that says something about Evergreen and how they work with their blockers. If your outside hitter is getting up and getting a block as powerful as that, shows the connection you have with themselves in the middle blockers.
Evergreen State has the team advantage in kills, 2-0. Perez fires over the service on the far pin. August swings, and Packer pops it into the air. Brown swings on the near pin, and it flies out of bounds.
Kaya Brown, another reliable middle blocker for Evergreen State, and I don't hate her option to try to cut cross court. That's very hard to defend, just overstated a little bit there.
Parquet takes no time, fires this ball across. Perez receives it. The near pin, Scroggins tries, bobbled around. Parquet tries to send that one over, but she was way deep in the back row, and she tried to send that one over. Couldn't.
Parquet there, trying to put a little force behind that ball, but it's really tough when your back is to the net. You want to just try to get the ball over the net.
Cepeda runs into it, fires the serve across. Hyder receives it. August taps it, and the Geoducks send it over on 1. Hyder pokes it into the middle. Near flag official said it was down, but they play on. August hammers that ball. Parquet pops it in the, Packer pops it in the air. Deschamps cross-court shot. Packer saves it. The middle for Mella, can't get it to fall. Bump set to Deschamps. She taps that one. Cepeda keeps it alive. They send it over, and it's kept alive by the Beacons. Matthews able to poke it in the middle for the kill to finish off that long rally.
That's that connection that you need to have with your setter and your middle blocker. Jessie Matthews also having a night last night, again making an appearance on the court for the first time since October 9th. And that was a very smart decision to tip, showing that you don't need to swing at full strength. Sometimes it's smarter to just delicately place the ball where there's a gap.
Matthews just collected her 15th kill of the year as Belitz lofts the service across. Packer receives it on the far pin, a hammer ball that Scroggins puts down for the kill. Scroggins, the team leader in kills per set with just over 2. Gives the Geoducks the lead in the side out. Evergreen State leads it at 19-18 in the first set. Hyder receives a service from Packer. August hammers a ball that is way too long.
August knows too, as soon as she came down from that attempt, she hit the ball a little bit too low, didn't snap the wrist enough, sent the ball way out of bounds.
Packer lofts this one over. August goes low to receive it. Hyder winds up off the double block and out of play.
You can see some of the student section doing the worm in celebration. Something I probably haven't seen before, I don't know.
They were going crazy last night when Hyder turned it on. Hyder has 5 kills in the match. August lofts the service across. On the outside, it's rejected. Scroggins tried to rifle that ball through the block, but the Beacons say no thank you.
And that's Hyder and Matthews on the block. They've struggled early in this match to connect. That was a perfect example of what they should be doing.
August serves from left to right, tied at 20 in the first set. It's received by the Geoducks. Perez swings, cross-court shot too far.
Again, you don't hate those cross-court shots, you just want to make sure that you're getting enough snap of the wrist and that the ball's placed high enough. If it's not a good set, you shouldn't be trying to go cross court with it.
Beacons on a 3-0 run. They lead 21-20. August fires the service across. Cepeda gets underneath it, but nobody to help her out. A service ace gives the Beacons a 22-20 lead in the first set. That's their 4th service ace of the first set, and Coach Bounds wanting to talk things over for Evergreen State as they're down by 2.
And Leah August coming in and serving, not only playing after a few weeks with injury, but serving, like we said earlier, something you really haven't seen her do throughout the entire season. She has no service aces, no service errors, just added her first service ace. But watching her serve, you're wondering why she hasn't been utilized in the past. They might not be service aces, but her serves are coming in super hard, kind of discombobulating the Evergreen State defense in the serve receive, which is important. That's when you want to try to get momentum, and she's stopping Evergreen from doing so. So credit to Leah August coming out of an injury and able to serve Evergreen off the court and now bring the Beacons just 3 away from winning the set.
So last night, there was kind of a concerning stat if you're Coach Corwin and the Beacons. They had 15 service errors in that entire match last night in 4 sets. That's a bit concerning for what's supposed to be the best serving team in the conference. They're first in service aces per set. And 15 service errors, definitely not up to the Beacons and Coach Corwin's standard. They start tonight with 4 aces to 2 errors. They lead 22-20 in the first set with August waiting to serve it from left to right. She runs into it, springs this across. It's received by the Geoducks. They tap it over on 2. Hyder tries to slam it down, but it's sent right back from the Geoducks to the Beacons. Ladd swings off the double block, saved by Evergreen State. Walker Campbell pokes it over, saved by the Beacons. Packer keeps this ball alive. Back and forth, here we go. Hyder cross court, doesn't fall. Perez trying to slam that one down, and she does. August could not get underneath that one as she was in the back row.
Perez, that was a beautiful, beautiful, it looked like when she was going up, she had her hands in the position like she was going to tip the ball, and instead slams it down, and that definitely threw off Bushnell's defense there.
Mitchell smacks the service in play, somehow receives it. Hyder on the far pin, smacks it and kills it. Into the block, it doesn't matter. 23-21 in the first set. Bushnell with a side out, making a few substitutions, and Julia Cook to serve it away for Bushnell.
Last night she had 3 digs and 2 service aces. Would be nice for one of those to come and play here.
23-21, she serves it in play, Packer receives it. Back set for Perez, but it's kept alive by Bushnell. Somehow, she hammers the ball. Geoducks send it over on 1. Hyder gets underneath it on the first touch. She clobbers, trying to save it. Packer keeps it alive. Perez pokes at it, and it's a point for the Beacons. Sets up set point at 24-21.
The Bushnell fans rise to their feet, get excited. The energy in here is elite for senior night.
Julia Cook serving it at set point. She hauls this ball across. Cepeda gets underneath it. Mitchell set in the middle for Walker Campbell. She gets the kill off the block and down for Ashley Walker Campbell. The former Corbin Warrior has 3 kills on the night. 4 kills now, hitting 500.
Julia Cook just subbed out for Jessie Matthews, who will be back in to play the back row.
Perez takes her time and lobs this ball across. Mosier slaps it down right in the middle. The senior McKenna Mosier on senior night, making a play to put the first set away. Beacons win the first set 25-22.
And McKenna Mosier said something that really stuck with me, honestly, about being in the 4th spot in the CCC, saying pressure is a privilege. And there you go, she showed how she's going to use her privilege to the fullest extent on set point, putting the ball down in that middle position. That was just beautiful, beautiful swing from her part.
Beacons hit 159, have 14 kills and 4 service aces in that first set, and win it outright 25-22. We'll be right back here on the Bushnell live stream for the second set. Back on the Bushnell live stream, tonight is senior night, so we're going to honor a few seniors here. We're going to start with Ariana Guerra. Adi is in her first season with the Beacons after transferring from Texas A&M International University. She's played in 24 matches this season, collected 210 kills, and collected a season-high 17 kills and hit .577 against Multnomah on October 12th. And another senior here tonight just picked up the final kill of the first set to put the set away, McKenna Mosier. Mosier has been with the Beacons for 2 years since transferring from Bellevue College. She's played in 54 matches, collecting 207 kills. Her 197 career blocks rank 8th all-time for the Beacons, and just last night she tied and earned career highs with 9 kills and 9 blocks. It's senior night. We honor the seniors here at Morse Center. Here on the Bushnell live stream, I'm Isaac Duby alongside Olivia Arcenega. And the Beacons really got it going in that first set in order to take that lead, pull away with that one in the end.
They did, and they kind of fell back because, again, they were having trouble defending what Evergreen was throwing at them. But once they were able to cover better, especially off missed blocks and tips from Evergreen, they started to see a lot more momentum go their way.
August takes no time, puts this in play. Cepeda digs it out. Walker Campbell strikes, but it's kept alive by the Beacons. Hyder on the near pin, puts it down off the tape, right into the middle of the floor for a kill.
And Hyder put it just out of Cepeda's reach there. It's tough to judge, but when you can put the ball right in front of the defender, it's extremely hard to put back up.
August hasn't seen any service action this season. She sees her first tonight. She puts this ball in play, and it's a rejection for Bushnell. It goes down off the double block for the Beacons. Up 2-0 in the second set. They're up in the match 1-0. August smacks this ball in play. Cepeda receives it again, but nobody there to help her out. Leah August has 2 service aces after returning from injury. She's missed the last 3 matches. And Bushnell finds themselves up 3-0 in the second set, lead the match 1-0. August lofts this ball in play. Cepeda receives it. Packer sends over a roll shot that doesn't fall. August digs it out. Hyder strikes, and it's rejected by the Geoducks.
Kaya Brown and Ashley Walker Campbell together on that block. They had such an excellent connection. The transition from Brown from the middle blocker all the way to the opposite side, making sure their hands are connected. That was just beautiful for Evergreen.
Lucendi Perez lofts this ball in play. Hyder sends it over on one. And Bright Brubaker puts down that ball for a Geoduck point.
She made that look so effortless. That was just beautiful, and exactly why Evergreen is such a dominant force at the net.
Perez serving from left to right. Lofts this ball in play. Hyder digs it out. Ladd strikes a cross-court shot, kept alive by Mitchell. Walker Campbell taps over an attack, and the Beacons send it over on an emergency ball. Cut shot by Walker Campbell, able to find the floor off of the Beacon. No, it's actually out of bounds. It's a Beacon side out.
And I do like that attempt from Evergreen again, trying to find the line that's especially hard to defend, putting it short and right down into that campfire zone, especially on a swing. Hard to defend, and almost had it there.
Cook runs into it, hauls this ball across. Received by Perez. On the far pin, Brubaker lines that one into the net. At attack, not enough height on that ball.
And Julia Cook comes in specifically to serve for Bushnell, which shows how much trust coach has in her to do her job.
Cook with a 5-2 lead in the second set. She serves this across, received by the Geoducks. In the middle, Brown tries to put it down, but Samau digs it out. Hyder slams that ball down the line. Mitchell pops it into the air. Perez, a down ball, cracked over. Bielitz digs it out. Samau diving play to keep it alive. Cook tries to send an overpass, but it lines into the net.
And that's something that will discombobulate an offense. When your setter takes the first ball and you're not exactly sure who the second hands are going to be, you have to make sure that you have somebody designated to get the ball if your setter's out on the first pitch.
Brown smacks this ball in place. Samau receives it in the back row. In the middle, Mosier puts it right down the middle. One hand pancake dig by Perez. Walker Campbell sends over a shot. That doesn't fall, but Hyder, that cross-court shot down the seam is killed.
Hyder again with those cross-court shots in the student section. I'm sorry, getting really creative down there. Very fun to watch and helps add to the energy, which gives Bushnell even more momentum. That's what's so special about playing, not only on senior night, on your home court. Very exciting for Bushnell here.
Elijah Sanders, the senior setter out of West Albany High School, lines this ball across. Perez receives it. Brubaker, she smacks. Parquet digs it out. Hyder wallops off the double block, and it soars out of bounds. I saw on Instagram that this is a track and field team that came out and supported the Beacons volleyball team. Looks like some of the same people are here tonight in the student section.
Really says something about the community here at Bushnell. Teams going to support each other. You gotta love it.
Sanders takes some time, lofts this ball in play. Perez pops it in the air. Brubaker tries. Parquet digs it out. Samau cracks, kept alive by Perez. Walker Campbell taps that one over, out of play. Beacons find themselves up 8-3 in the second set. They lead the match 1-0.
And if you're going to try a cross-court shot there like Campbell just did, you need to make sure you snap your wrist down. It can't be a roll shot.
Sanders lines this ball in play. Brubaker gives an emergency ball to the Beacons. That also flies out of bounds. Beacons up 9-3 in the second. And a timeout for Coach Bounds. Wants to talk things over as the Beacons have completely gained control with a 6-1 run in their favor. Take a 9-3 lead in the second set.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to talk about players that have had to step up in terms of others' injuries. You want to talk about Amaya Samau. She has just been phenomenal, and yes, she's a senior, or excuse me, no, she's only a sophomore. Sorry, and already such a dominant force for the defense back there, really being one of those leaders, which is what you want to see from an underclassman, because that means you got now 2 more years of somebody who's super consistent in that back row. Last night specifically, she led the team with 22 digs and also had 9 kills and an ace. 9 kills from the back row is impressive in itself because you're not at the net. You don't have as much option with direction, and it's easier to block because the ball is coming down. But to put 9 kills on the board as well as 22 digs and an ace, that just shows how versatile she is. She's had 3 straight matches as well with double-double. So again, a player that Bushnell has really relied on, especially with the amount of injured players they've had recently.
And as an outside hitter, she leads the conference in service aces and has 5 consecutive matches with 10 or more digs. And listed as an outside hitter, when you do that much for your team, it really shows that she's kind of a chess piece, a Swiss Army knife. Sanders puts his ball in play as the Beacons are up 9-3. It's dug out in the back row. And Walker Campbell puts the ball down, right down the seam, off the block.
That's just a beautiful swing there. Phenomenal job by Carmela, or excuse me, Campbell. Whatever middle blocker that was, she did a fantastic job. And putting it right down the middle, right over Samau's head, that's very hard to defend.
It was actually Zosha Formella as Evergreen State gets the side out. Calzadias puts it in play. Hyder receives it. Mosier whacks right down the middle. Packer didn't have time to even think as that one was hurling at her at 100 miles an hour.
Molly Packer, as good as she is and as good of a defensive player you are, sometimes balls are just hit so hard, it's very hard to put back into play.
Hyder at the service line, jogs into it, rockets this ball across. Diving reception by Packer. Smacked over by the Geoducks. They keep it alive. August sends over the attack. It doesn't fall. Attack by Evergreen State is kept alive by the Beacons. An overpass from Bushnell to Evergreen State is sent over. Scroggins taps it into the middle. Hyder fires off the tape and kept alive by Perez. In the middle, Formella can't put it down. Bump set to August on the near pin. She tries to find the deep corner, but is just a touch too far.
And something that Molly Packer is going to do, she's going to put her body on the line to keep a ball in play, and that's what you saw on the serve there. She did a phenomenal job adjusting, thought the ball was coming to the middle, made a huge adjustment to her right, put her body on the line, and eventually worked out in Evergreen State's favor.
Mylan Cepeda puts this in play. Parquet receives it. August whacks off the block. It's sent back by the Geoducks. Deschamps on the other side. Kept alive by the Geoducks. Down ball sent over from Calzadias. Parquet digs it out. Deschamps tries again down the line. It's too far.
Again, the down the line shot is especially hard to master because you're towing with such a thin line there. You want to place it inbounds, but you don't want to give it too much inbounds or it's also going to be really easy to dig up.
Beacons up 10-6, and Cepeda fires this ball across. Hyder gets underneath it. Down ball from August is sent across, but dug out by the Geoducks. Scroggins tries to find a cross-court shot in the deep corner, but it ends up too far, an attack error charged on Scroggins. Beacons lead 11-6 in the second set with Parquet to haul this ball across for the service. She lines it over the net. Packer receives it in the back row. Set into the middle for Mella, kept alive by Sanders. Deschamps, roll shot, falls to the floor off the 2 blocks. She tried to go down the line, and she ended up going cross-court, off the block and down. Beacons double up on the Geoducks in the second set, up 12-6. They lead the match 1-0 as Parquet rockets the serve into the net.
And even as good of a server that Parquet is, she's very consistent. You're going to have those moments where you just miss it.
Packer lofts this ball in play. Parquet receives it. August off the block, flies out of play. What an attack, and what a return from Leah August. 2 service aces and 3 kills.
Phenomenal. Definitely a player that Bushnell's missed in these past few matches, excuse me.
Belitz hauls this one across. Cepeda receives it in the back row. Perez whacks it. Hyder couldn't get underneath it. So Geoducks with a point.
Perez is second on Evergreen State for hitting percentage. She's, again, somebody who's very, very consistent. She's had 3 double-doubles this entire year and also 6 matches with 10 kills. Somebody Evergreen relies on to get their offense going.
Mitchell jogs into it, lobs it across. Ladd sends it over on 1, and Kaya Brown quickly puts that down in the middle. Second on the team in blocks per set, and second on the team in service aces as well as Kaya Brown. She picks up a kill there, and a point for Evergreen State. Put in play by Mitchell. Hyder receives it in the back row. August pokes it in the middle. It's dug out by the Geoducks. Walker Campbell taps it over. Ladd, they say she didn't get the play. They say it was down. Geoducks closing the gap on the Beacons. Beacons still lead in the second set, 13-10.
And that's something, again, Bushnell struggling to cover that zone right there. They need to figure out a way to react faster.
Mitchell serving from left to right, fires this across. Parquet receives it in the back row. Ladd whacks, hammers, and it's out of bounds off the block.
That time there, Ashley Walker-Campbell just jumping a little bit too late and just missing the height of her vertex and not able to connect with the ball there.
August awaits, serves it over the net. Perez receives it. In the middle, Brown off the triple block. Belitz got a touch on that, but it falls to the floor on the Beacon side.
Parquet a little bit slow to react there and a little bit slow to react in the previous play, but it's really hard when you have a team like Evergreen who's so scrappy and you don't really know what they're going to throw over the net, who is going to bounce off of, and that is what makes Evergreen such a threat right now to Beacons.
Perez, 11 service aces on the year. She puts this in play, somehow receives it. Hyder whacks off the block and down. So much success off the block tonight for both teams, really, but especially the Beacons, with Ladd getting the last kill off the block, and then Haley Hyder putting it down off the Geoducks front line. Cook getting ready to serve from right to left. She rockets this ball across. Perez gets low to receive it. Brubaker, roll shot, is dug out by Samau. On the far pin, Ladd strikes it off of Packer in the back row, and a kill for Maddie Ladd.
That's just kind of a knee-jerk reaction from Molly Packers to always go for the ball, but that ball was so far over her head. If she just put her hands down, that ball would have been way out of bounds.
Cook lofts his ball over. Perez receives it. In the middle, Brown tips it too far on the far sideline. Beacons lead the second set 17-11 and lead the match 1-0. Cook 17 service aces on the year, including 2 last night. She puts it in play. Perez receives it. Brubaker slaps. Cook digs it out in the back row. Samau roll shot into the middle. Mitchell gets underneath it. Walker Campbell roll shot off the block. Nobody there down the seam to keep that ball alive for the Beacons.
A miscommunication there between Samau and Julia Cook. Julia Cook, typically not a player that plays defensively, again, comes in specifically to serve. Hard to build that connection between two players that don't see a lot of time together.
Brown lofts the service across. It's received by the Beacons. Cross-court shot by Hyder is dug out. Brubaker in the middle. Diving dig by Parquet is kept up. Hyder slaps that one and puts it down. Another celebration from the student section as Hyder collects another kill. That'll put her in double digits.
We call that handstands for Hyder is what they just did.
That's good. I like that. Handstands for Hyder. We'll have to trademark that here at Evergreen Center. Beacons lead 18-12 in the second set and lead the match 1-0. Sanders fires a service across. Perez receives it. Walker Campbell cross court. Finds the deep corner. What a precise and accurate shot from Walker Campbell for the kill.
At any level, that is nearly impossible to defend unless you have a girl right there, which typically you don't, especially, again, a cross-court shot, you have the girl on the left side, usually creeping in to defend. The ball being put right overhead in the perfect spot, super hard to defend.
Calls the Diaz, lines it across, received by the Beacons. Mosier off the net and down for the Geoducks. Excuse me, down for the Beacons. Beacons take a 19-13 lead. Mosier, 3 kills on the night, hitting 429. No, that's actually now her 4th kill, hitting 500 on the night. Hyder behind the service line, she has 11 kills. She fires the serve too far. Another service error for the Beacons. It's their 3rd of the night. Geoducks have no service errors so far in this match. Beacons lead the second set 19-14 and lead the match 1-0. Cepeda awaits behind the service line, runs into it, hauls it across. Hyder receives it in the back row. Set to August on the near pin. She cracks at it. Cepeda goes off her face. One-handed play. Going back to get it was Pecker, and they send it over to the Beacons. In the middle, Mosier down the middle. Pecker, another diving dig. Sent over on 2 by the Geoducks, and it falls to the floor for Evergreen State. What a rally by Molly Packer.
Oh my goodness, Molly Packer. That is just elite defense from her, showing exactly why she's first in the CCC in digs, willing to put her body on the line to keep the ball in play.
Cepeda lofts this ball across. Hyder receives it. August on the near pin. Down the seam. Cross-court shot is killed as Geoducks are colliding into each other in the back row.
That's an excellent swing there on the Beacon side, putting it right in between 2 defenders. That's very, very hard to defend.
Parquet serves it in play as the Beacons lead 20-15 in the second set. Packer receives it. Perez tries to tap it over. Beacons send it back. Nobody able to keep that one up. Beacons get the point up. 21-15 now in the second set.
And if you're going to call a timeout, now is the time to do so if you're Evergreen. Worth a try to get some momentum back, but it's going to be very, very hard to put a 10 points. Right now, just 6 needed for a comeback to tie with the Beacons, but 10 ultimately to win the match. Going to be very hard to do, but if they can get their defense to connect, get the blocks going again up front, it's very possible.
The Geoducks right now hitting only 0-86. They have 21 kills on 70 attacks, and the last time these two teams played, the Geoducks were held under a 100 hitting percentage, and that mark of 0-86 tonight, definitely not the mark you want to see on offense if you're Evergreen State.
Definitely not, but they're making up for it again with their defense, which is what was kind of expected coming into this match. And honestly, what's keeping them in the game right now, and it's what kept them so close in the first set. And that's honestly what something Bushnell struggled with. If it wasn't for the players up front being able to connect with their hits, it might be a totally different game, because Evergreen's done such a good job targeting that middle of the court. I can't say it enough. A spot that Bushnell's going to need to learn how to defend better.
Parquet awaits as the Beacons lead 21-15. Parquet puts it in play. Packer receives it. On the outside, Scroggins gets the kill, and the Geoducks out of the timeout get the point.
That's good for the Geoducks. That's the momentum you want to have coming out of the timeout. And now you're sending Mullen Packer to the line, who's not very consistent with service aces, but nonetheless somebody you can rely on to get the ball over the net.
Packer lofts this ball in play. Parquet receives it. August trying to slam it down, and the block is set up beautifully by the Geoducks. They now have the lead in blocks on the night. They have 4 to the Beacons 3. 6th in the CCC in blocks per set, at 2 blocks in every set. Matthews tries to put that one through the block. And how about another block for Evergreen State? That's their 5th.
Lots of smiles from Kaya Brown there, knowing that she is now able to connect with her opposite hitter there. Phenomenal job.
Packer fires the service over the net. Cross-court shot by Deschamps is dug up by the Geoducks. Miscommunication by Brown and Cepeda as the ball falls to the floor on the Geoduck side. Beacons have the side, get the side out, have a 22-18 lead in the second set. Lead the match 1-0. Bielitz dribbles it on the hardwood, takes her time, and hauls it across. Perez receives it, goes low to get it. Scroggins tips it into the middle, dug up by the Beacons. Roll shot by August, doesn't fall. Packer there to dig it out. Perez on the far pin, down the line. Bielitz on the first touch. Hyder can't make the diving dig to keep it alive. Some real effort from Haley Hyder. She's a little shaken up on that play. Limping on that left leg. She was squinting in pain, but she looks fine now. She's lined up in the middle of the back row. Mitchell fires the service across. Hyder receives it. Bielitz tries to keep it in play. Hyder diving, one-handed dig. Can't be, trying to send an overpass for the Geoducks. And a timeout for the Beacons as Coach Corwin wants to talk things over with his team.
And that's something on that last play that you saw that makes it very difficult for a setter to be a setter in that position. You never know where a dig's going to come from, whether it's going to be digged perfectly to your spot or whether you're going to have to adjust that or not. And you want to be very light on your feet, make sure that your body weight is not fully on the ground so you're able to move back, front, left, right, go wherever the ball is placed or call out for help. And on that play, you would have liked to see Katie Bielitz maybe call out for help if there was somebody behind her in that opposite position, but there was nobody there. She did the best she could to keep the ball in play. Definitely a tough dig there.
And in this set, just in the last few points, we knew coming into tonight that this team's strength was their block and their front line. It's actually one of Bushnell's weaknesses. They get blocked the most of any team in the conference, over 2.5 blocks per set against them. And the Geoducks 6th in the conference with 2 blocks a set. That's starting to play a factor just in the last few points as the Geoducks have taken the lead in blocks for the match, 5-3 in that category. Beacons lead the second set 22-20 with Mitchell standing behind the service line, second on the team in assists per set at 3 assists per set. She had 2 kills on 2 attack attempts last night as well. She lofts this ball over. Hyder receives it. Ladd cracks off the block and down. If there were a word to categorize Maddie Ladd and the type of hitter she is, it would be power hitter. She doesn't play softball, but she plays volleyball, but she's still a power hitter.
Most definitely.
August stands behind the service line, springs it across off the tape. Perez receives it. Perez will wind up, poke it into the middle. Diving dig can't be made by the Beacons.
very smart on Evergreen to keep picking apart the positions that Bushnell is unable to defend. And sometimes it's really hard when you're in transition trying to get to your designated spot if you're Bushnell. But Evergreen doing a good job recognizing that and putting the ball exactly where it should go.
Perez awaits, serves it from left to right as her team is down 23-21 in the second set. Parquet receives the serve, and Ladd gets rejected this time on that far antenna. Geoducks close the gap. It's a 23-22 lead for Bushnell at home. With the Geoducks trying to pull out the second set. Down by 1. Perez offs the ball across. Somehow receives it. Bielitz sends it over on 2, and it falls down. Bielitz sets up set point in the second set. Bushnell leads the set 24-22.
And it's hard to try to defend when you have 3 threats in your front row, but when you have 4 in your setter, that's even harder.
Cook at set point in the second set. Fires this serve across. Perez receives it. On the near pin. Brown gets rejected, but it flies out of bounds. Geoducks with the side out, but it's the second set point for Bushnell. Brown at the service line, 10 service aces on the year, second on the team. She hauls this one across. Parquet receives it. On the near pin, Hyder cracks it and kills it. Off the double block, Hyder has been the star of the weekend. Make that her 12th kill just in 2 sets alone. And the Beacons close out the second set 25-23.
And if you need anybody, like you said, to close out a set, get you to that set point, it's going to be Haley Hyder, somebody who's been so consistent for the Beacons, who's such a powerful hitter. That's exactly who you want to target to end a set.
Haley Hyder, 12 kills on the night, 250 in the hitting percentage mark, 3 digs and 2 blocks. We say it every time, but she does everything for this team. In the third set, going into the third, Bushnell leads the match 2-0. 2 more seniors to highlight tonight on the Beacons side here at senior night at Morse Center. We have Elijah Sanders. Elijah has been with the Beacons for 2 seasons since transferring from Lane Community College. She has played in 44 matches, collecting 582 assists, which ranks 10th on Bushnell's all-time list. She collected a career-high 31 assists back on October 4th against the team they're playing tonight, Evergreen State. The other senior, another senior we will highlight, is Brooklyn Deschamps. Brooklyn has played in 3 of the last 4 seasons for the Beacons, playing in 35 matches. She has earned 60 kills and 80 blocks in her career and earned a career-high 7 kills against Northwest last night. Keep highlighting all the seniors here at senior night. The final home match of the regular season for Bushnell and the Beacons. They're up 2-0 over the Evergreen State Geoducks, who are on a 5-match losing streak. Beacons, they close out in this set. It would be their 10th straight match win against Evergreen State. That's the longest win streak in the history of this rivalry. Third set's about to get underway with Jessica Mitchell, the junior setter, behind the service line. She jogs into it, tees it up, fires it across. Parquet receives it. Fields set for Samau. She winds up. Mitchell gets a piece of it, and it flies out of bounds as Amaya Samau collects a kill. Amaya Samau had a career-high 22 digs last night. Just so much for this Beacon team. She gets the kill there. Hook rockets across the service. It's dug out by Cepeda. Perez taps that one over. It's dug up by the Beacons. Hyder goes off the block down the line and gets the kill. Haley Hyder. She's the first Beacon to have 25 or more kills. She had it last night, and then she had it the last time they played Evergreen State. She had 25. She had 27 last night, 25 the last time they played Evergreen State. A service ace for Julia Cook. She had 2 last night, and she keeps adding to her success at the service line. That's her first of the night. She runs into it, smacks it across. Packer receives it in the back row. On the near pin, Walker Campbell floats it into the middle. Belitz digs it out. Hyder whacks at it, sent back by the Geoducks. Hyder will try again on the far pin. Off the double block, kept alive by Cepeda. On the far pin, cross-court shot. Walker Campbell says it's down, and it is. It's a point for the Geoducks. Beacon still up 3-1. The Geoducks get the side out. Lucendi Perez behind the service line. She's another one of those players that does everything for this team. Second and first in almost every category, in almost every statistical category. Packer fires over a down ball. This rally goes on. Ladd pokes it into the middle. Sent over on 2. Jessica Mitchell gets the kill. Perez awaits behind the service line. She fires it across. Samau diving reception. Hyder has to poke that one into the middle. It's dug up by the Geoducks. They fire over an attack that is kept alive by Bushnell. Hyder tries to slam that one down. Walker Campbell is injured on the far sideline, but the rally goes on. Ladd cross court, and now they pause the play. Moore Center is silent as Walker Campbell's down on the floor holding her face. Mentioned she was a former Corbin Warrior, the opposite hitter. She's a consistent offensive player. She has double-digit attack attempts in every match this year. She's been hitting 170 or better the last 4 matches. Played in 77 sets for Evergreen State. She is down on her hands and knees on the far sideline, on the Geoduck side.
And hopefully Evergreen State, hoping she's okay, as we all are here, but Campbell's been one of those players that's really kept Evergreen in the match this entire time, kept it close, bought it back when Evergreen's been down. So again, you hope she's okay.
She's the leading attacker for the Geoducks. She has 8 kills, hitting .278 and 3 blocks. She gets up on her own power, heads to the Geoducks bench.
Looks like, right? Bert Brubaker will check in for her now.
Brubaker checks in. Interesting to see. They're waiting to decide who's going to serve this on the replay. Players out on the floor for the Beacons. It's Haley Hyder, Maddie Ladd, Amaya Samau, the libero, Bella Parquet, McKenna Mosier, and Katie Bielitz. For the Geoducks, it's Perez, Molly Packer, Marin Collins, Bright Brubaker, Jessica Mitchell, and Kaya Brown. Perez lofts the service in play. Samau receives it. Ladd attacks off the block. Geoducks get an opportunity and they put it down. Tied up at 3. And Evergreen State with the side out. Actually, no, they served it, so it's their point. The third set is tied at 3.
That's a tough connection that Maddie Ladd and McKenna Mosier had to make there on that block.
Bars over, a low arcing serve does Perez. Set back. And it's a point for Evergreen State as it's 4 touches for the Beacons.
A little bit of confusion there on the touch count from Bushnell's side. Thought that they had one more to give, but ended up being a little bit short there.
A 4-0 run for the Geoducks. Gives them a 4-3 lead in the third set. Bushnell leads the match 2 sets to none. Hyder taps a ball over the block, and the student section is celebrating again.
I think they're very creative. They honestly are so entertaining, and again, that really just speaks to the energy and community Bushnell brings here to this stadium and shows out for each other. It's very fun to watch.
Beacons get the side out, tie the match at 4 in the third set. Sanders slaps across the service. Perez receives it in the back row. The far pin, Brubaker gets the kill. Sanders couldn't pop that one in the air.
Everybody on Evergreen State side super excited for Brubaker. They're showing out with the opportunity she has to be on the court, putting down a kill for Evergreen State, which is going to help them regain the lead.
Kaya Brown behind the service line. She's in her 4th year with the team, but has seen significantly more playing time this season in the past 3 years, as she's played in 80 sets this year. Second on the team with 10 service aces, as well as 72 blocks on the season. She waits. They're discussing the call on the floor, but they authorize Kaya Brown to serve. She slaps it over. Samau receives it. Hyder on the far pin, whacks that one down on the line. Haley Hyder didn't even think that one was going to land in bounds, but it did. Dives to the floor right on the back line for another Haley Hyder kill.
That's exactly where you want to place the ball if you're going in for a kill. Not only super deep, but in between 2 defenders.
Hyder launches this serve in play, and it is too far. That one over the back line.
Barely missing it there, but I like the idea to try to paint the back line. It's extremely hard to defend, and she put it right in between the defenders of Perez and Brown there, away from Molly Packer, which is very strategic and smart.
Geoducks lead the third set 6-5. But Bushnell leads the match 2 sets to none. Calzadias fires over the service. Hyder receives it. Mosier whacks down the middle off of Packer and out of play. Beacons with the side out. And Parquet steps behind the service line. Tied at 6 in the third set. Bushnell leads the match 2 sets to none as Parquet serves it from left to right. Fires it across. Perez receives it in the back row. In the middle, put down by the Geoducks.
That looks like that was Sophia Scraggins there. And when you have that connection between your setter and your middle blocker, it's very hard to stop that. And Bushnell didn't have time to get a block up there. There's no stopping a kill from your middle blocker with no block.
Yeah. Cepeda lofts across, lofts the service into the net. Tied at 7 in the third set is another side out for Bushnell.
The Geoducks doing a really good job at keeping it close early on, taking away from any momentum Bushnell gains for a little bit and putting it back in their own court.
Bielitz lofts the serve in play. Received by the Geoducks, and Scroggins gets the kill off the block. Hammers that ball into the Beacon front line.
Scroggins leads Evergreen State in terms of kills per set. She's had 6 matches with 10+ kills this year, the last one being on October 19th.
Packer Slaps across the service. Hyder goes low to receive it. August on the near pin. Cross-court shot is kept alive by the Geoducks. Calzadillas fires over an overpass to the Beacons. August swings, but that one's sent back by Evergreen State. August tries again off the block and played up by Evergreen State. Scroggins tries the cross-court shot. It's a fault for the Geoducks. It gives the Beacons the point, tied at 8.
Looks
and
like
August stepped behind the service line.
Looks like they're going to call that 4 touches on Evergreen's side, but August, again, who's done so well from the service line, back again to serve.
She jogs into it, tees it up, slaps it into the net. You know, for somebody who hasn't seen the service line at all this year, is returning from injury, August has looked pretty impressive behind the service line.
Very impressive. That's actually her first service error out of the entire year, which, again, like you said, coming back from injury, serving for the first time, very impressive.
2 service aces to 1 error, but this one's put in play by Mitchell. Hyder goes low to receive it. Ladd on the near pin, puts it down off the block.
Maddie Ladd, somebody we described earlier, and we can say it again, as a power hitter, just finding that gap in the defense as well. Not just swinging to swing, but swinging with intent and strategy in her mind. Very good play by Maddie Ladd.
I think Ladd would make a great softball player.
Yeah, you know what? I see that too.
Cook lines across the Cook lines across the service. It's dug up, received by the Geoducks. Somehow gets underneath the Evergreen State attack, but they give a free ball to the Geoducks. Paris swings down the line off of Velitz's shoulder and out of play.
Katie Velix, a tough position there. I like that she was hugging the line to ensure that, to tell the difference if the ball was going in or not, but a very good hit by Evergreen, just grazed her shoulder there.
Perez lines across the service. Hyder receives it. Hyder will wind up, crack it, and kill it. Packer had no time to react on that shot.
Haley Hyder, somebody who, again, can't say it enough, who was just a huge name for Bushnell last night and has been for the past few matches. She's just playing excellent. And something that's really important is she's very consistent. Whether, even if she's not putting up record numbers in a match, she's still somebody Bushnell can rely on.
Sanders launches the service across. Perez receives it. On the outside, Brown trying to put it down, somehow digs it out. Poked over by Hyder, but kept alive by the Geoducks. Brown has to Brubaker gives a ball to the Beacons. Deschamps can't kill it, and Packer sends over a down ball. Parquet digs it out. Hyder on the far pin, whacks it down the line. Mitchell pops it up. Perez swings the down ball. That one digged out. Samal taps it into the middle. Geoducks get underneath it. Brubaker puts it down. That's Collins. Collins putting that ball down for the kill. Team leader in hitting percentage and 9th in the CCC in blocks per set. Able to get the kill on that long rally. Give the Geoducks the side out. Brown fires across the service. Samal receives it. Hyder on the far pin. Winds up. Waterfall block for the Geoducks gives the Beacons a point.
And Evergreen there needed to find a way to get their hands over the net. This time, something they've done so well, but this time just barely missing it. Having their hands straight up instead of pointed down, which would have sent the ball back over to Bushnell's side.
11 all in the 3rd set as Bushnell leads the match 2-0. Hyder launches across the service. It's received by the Geoducks in the middle. August gets the first touch, and Parquet fires over an overpass to Evergreen State. Packer with the first touch. Collins fires it over. Hyder there to dig it out. Deschamps cross-court shot. Packer can't play it up.
Another rare miss for Packer there, but when the ball is hit with as much force as it's being and you're putting your hands up, it's very easy sometimes for the ball to just slip through your fingers.
Deschamps with her 4th kill of the night as Hyder lines it into the net for another service error. Ties the 3rd set up at 12. And Deschamps, hasn't seen that much playing time this year. Led the team in blocks last year, but last night had an impressive performance. Career high 7 kills versus the Eagles and a career high 16 attack attempts. That's also the most in her career. She's being honored here on senior night. As this ball is put in play by the Geoducks. August goes cross court, kept alive by Perez. Collins slams it off the block and out of play.
And again, credit to the Geoducks. They are keeping it close in this third set, and it's really hard to come from behind when you're 2 sets down. You lost that last one with a bigger gap than the first, so credit to them for keeping the momentum up.
Geoducks giving the Beacons all they can handle in the third. They're up by 1. Put in play by Calzadias. Deschamps smacks it off the block and out of play. Beacons tied up again and get another side out. These teams just trading points back and forth.
Keeping it very close, very interesting for senior night. Wouldn't want it any other way.
Parquet launches the service across, going into the stands to get it is Scroggins, and Packer fires over an overpass. Parquet in the back row with the first touch. August cracks off the block. Packer can't keep it alive. Beacons have a 2-0 run to take the lead.
Leah August just gets so much power behind the ball that even though if there's a block up, if your block is not perfectly set, she's hitting with so much power it's going to bounce right off.
Parquet rockets this ball just on the back line for a service ace. It looked a little bit long, but the trajectory is just able to find the floor for the Beacon's 7th service ace of the night. She rockets this ball again. Packer receives it in the back row, and that one is put down for the Geoducks to calm and cool off the Beacon's momentum.
And that's what serving can do for a team. You either gain or break momentum off a service ace or service error, or even if it's not an ace, just a hard serve that discombobulates an offense.
Cepeda lofts this ball across. Parquet receives it. Deschamps pokes it cross court, but dug up by Calzadias on the far pin. Scroggins strikes, but sent back by Bushnell. A free ball to the Beacons is put down right in the middle of the defense. Olivia, that is the zone you keep talking about, and a free ball that wasn't meant to go like that ends up finding the floor for the kill.
Exactly, but credit to Perez there from Evergreen's side. When you're putting a free ball over, usually it just flies over. That was sent down with intent.
Cepeda launches the service across. Hyder with the first touch. August roll shot into the middle. Packer plays it up. Perez down the line. Sanders got a piece of it. It's a point for the Geoducks. Put down on the near sideline by Evergreen State. And Geoducks with a 16-15 lead in the third set, not going away as Bushnell leads the match 2-0.
Yeah, and something that Bushnell is going to need to adjust to is their defensive back line, especially that's being led right now by Parquet, their libero. Evergreen has not had a lot of success with cross-court shots, but Parquet still is very much backed up and hugging the line. When you have an outside hitter from Evergreen going to hit the ball, Parquet's always cross-court hugging that line, but what she needs to do is start to creep in a little bit because a lot of the balls that Evergreen's having success with are being put down in the middle of the floor there. They're not having success with cross-court shots, and so realistically, that is where you want to be, but Bushnell needs to find a way to adapt to that, especially Parquet needs to control that back line, have them creep in a little bit. There's not a lot of balls being hit over their head, and so they need to learn to adjust if they want to win this set.
So ever since Walker Campbell came out of the match, the main attacker for Evergreen State has been Lucendi Perez. She now is tied with Walker Campbell for the lead in kills for the Geoducks at 8. She's hitting .250. She's been succeeding in this third set, with them needing to rely on her to compensate for Walker Campbell's absence. It's fired across by Cepeda. August off the double block. Packer diving dig, but it soars into the stands on the far side.
This is what you want to see, especially if you're Bushnell coming out of a timeout. You want the momentum back in your hands, and now you're sending Katie Bellis to the back line, who has more service aces on the year than service errors.
17 service aces to 12 errors. Right on cue, though, she lines it into the net for her 13th service error of the year.
Should have knocked on wood there. That's my bad. I'll take that error.
Packer to serve it away for Evergreen State in the third. They lead 17-16. Bushnell leads the match 2-1. Packer puts it in play. Hyder receives it. Ladd trying to find that seam, but it's too far.
And Bushnell's run that play a couple of times, especially with Katie Beliz as the setter and Maddie Ladd being her opposite. Sometimes it's very hard unless you get a perfect set. Very hard to connect on.
Packer slaps this in play. Matthews with the first touch. Bump set for Ladd, cross-court shot. Point for the Beacons. Off a violation against the Geoducks. And it's a side out. And the student section is crowd surfing here at Morse Center. August runs into it, lobs it across. Perez receives it in the middle, poked by Brown, and then the Beacons send it over to the Geoducks on one. Scroggins cross court. Belitz with the dig. Hyder cracks at it. It's rejected by Evergreen State. Hyder tries again down the seam. Pops into the air by Cepeda, but no one to help her out.
Yes, Haley Hyder with an excellent swing, but credit also to Katie Belitz there, having a fantastic defensive effort. As a setter, that's not always what you're trained to do. You're trained to go from one position, immediately enter your second position where you want to get the ball in the front line. You don't always have time to stand and play a defensive game, but there, Katie Belitz had a really hard hit ball down on her right to the line, which would have been an excellent cross-court shot, but she did a fantastic job digging that ball up and keeping it in play for Haley Hyder to put back down on the ground.
Tied at 18 in the third set. Coach Bounds and the Geoducks opt to use their first timeout. And in this rivalry, I mentioned this earlier in this set that this would be the Beacons' 10th straight win against the Geoducks. These teams very familiar with each other because Evergreen State, the last time they went to the CCC tournament back in 2022, they had a first-round exit as Bushnell, and the Beacons swept them. So these two teams, bitter rivals, as they have some history in the CCC tournament. And Bushnell is looking to pick up the season sweep over Evergreen State. But this one is tied at 18 in the third, but Bushnell leads the match 2-0.
And if you're Bushnell, you're in a really good position, but you really want to keep fighting for that fourth position in the CCC, and to do that, you have to win this match.
August launches this serve in play. Cepeda diving reception. Rejected by the Beacons as Perez winds up, and it's rejected, and the block falls right on the line for Bushnell. August still behind the service line, awaits to serve it from left to right. Up 19-18 in the third. She lobs this ball across. Perez receives it. Perez will wind up. Cross-court play. Played up by Parquet. August from the back row. Cracks and puts it down. Leah August at the service line from the back row, from the front row. It doesn't matter. She's returned from injury, and she is fully back. August hauls this ball across. Cepeda goes low to receive it. In the middle, Scroggins with the attack that's too far. Beacons take a 3-point lead, their largest lead of this set.
Bushnell picking up the momentum and running with it, especially from server Leah August right now. It doesn't always have to be recorded as a service ace, but if you're putting the ball down hard enough, that's all you need to discombobulate the serve receive.
Leah August lines this one off the tape and right back on the Beacon side. Second service error of the night. But she's so much more than just a server. She's second on the team tonight in kills with 7, hitting 167. She also leads the team in hitting percentage. Don't typically see her at the service line, but she's filled in that role pretty well here tonight. Mitchell tees it up, lofts it across. Somehow diving reception, plays it up. Hyder off the tape, falls down in the middle of the floor for Haley Hyder's 19th kill of the night.
Haley Hyder racked up 27 kills in 5 sets last night. In 4 sets last night. We are only in the third set right now, and she is nearing 20. It's continuously such an efficient player for Bush.
Cook lobs the service across. Perez goes low to receive it. Mitchell fires it over on 2. Cook fires over a low arcing overpass that falls into the middle of the floor. And a timeout for the Geoducks as the Beacons have taken the lead and taken full control of this third set and are 2 points away from a match win, their second straight.
And this is exactly what you want entering some more, road matches to end your regular season. You want a sweep on your home court against a team that's really good defensively on your senior night. You just want to go in with that momentum to end the season, continue to get these wins and matches, and confirm that fourth spot in the CCC.
And tonight, a storyline that has been very prevalent is the disparity in serving. Bushnell, the best team in getting service aces per set, and Evergreen State, the worst team in getting service aces, as Bushnell has the lead 7-1 in that category. It's really helped with gaining the momentum and really piling it on for Bushnell and the Beacons against this Evergreen State team.
Bushnell's also lucky that the aces are going their way because they also lead in service errors compared to Evergreen. They have 9 service errors on the night, and Evergreen has 1. So again, very, very lucky that the service aces are going their way, because if it wasn't and they were just relying on these service errors, it would be a much different game.
23-19 in the third set. Bushnell leads the match 2-0. Cook springs this one across. Cepeda receives it. Near pin, Perez strikes, kept alive by Samal. Hyder winds up on the far pin, off the block and down. 20 kills for Haley Hyder, and the student section is going crazy. Everybody is on their feet as Bushnell is 1 point away from a sweep over Evergreen State. To close out their home regular season schedule, Cook lines this into the net. I hyped it up a little bit too much.
That's okay, but you know what? I would too if it was Julia Cook on the line. Again, somebody who comes in with the sole purpose to serve. You're going to miss a few once in a while, but gives Bushnell the opportunity to keep playing. Perez fires the serve in play. Hyder receives it. Back set for Ladd. Cross-court shot down the seam, trying to put it down, and the Beacons do. McKenna Mosier and Haley Hyder finish off the match. It's 25-20 in the third. Bushnell closes out their home regular season schedule with a sweep over the Evergreen State Geoducks. There is no better way to end your home regular season on your senior night in front of your friends and your family in a sweep against Evergreen State, such a notoriously good defensive team. Just an excellent showing for the Bushnell Beacons.
To wrap up senior night here at Moore Center, I'd like to highlight the final 2 seniors here on this Bushnell roster. First is Maddie Ladd. Maddie Ladd is in her 4th season with the Beacons and has played in 346 sets. She ranks 3rd all-time for the Beacons with 284 blocks, and she is 2nd with 257 block assists. Maddie was a first-team All-Cascade Collegiate Conference selection in 2023. And finally, last but certainly not least, Bella Parquet. Bella is in her 4th season with the Beacons. She has played in over 400 career sets, ranks 3rd in school history. She also ranks 9th all-time in service aces and 6th all-time in digs with 1,231. Last season, she broke Bushnell's single-season record with 5.15 digs per set and was named an All-CCC honorable mention. Bella is also a 3-time CCC Defensive Player of the Week. We'll talk to the Bushnell Player of the Game here on the Bushnell live stream in just a moment. Back here on the Bushnell live stream, we're here with Elijah Sanders. And Elijah, you kind of facilitated the offense tonight. You guys as a team hit 268, pretty impressive mark. Haley had a great night. What was going on offensively for you guys, and what were you guys talking about throughout the match?
I think that everyone was just really on tonight, and I think that our passing allowed us to hit super well, so I'm super proud of everyone. I think everyone was playing really well tonight.
What can you say about Haley's incredible performance this
Oh my
weekend?
gosh.
48 kills. What's it like to have an attacker that's just can't miss?
She's insane, and we love her so much. I love to have her as a go-to. She's awesome.
How did it feel tonight having Leah back? Still sounds like you guys are going to be missing Audie for the rest of the year. And Ashlyn, how does it feel to have Leah back in the rotation
It
for you guys?
feels really good. Yeah, we missed her a lot.
You guys had 7 service aces on the night. It was something you guys kind of started struggling last night early on. Found it, got it going late, and then tonight had a great performance with 7 service aces. What does your team talk about at the service line, the mentality before serving it away?
Yeah, Jason always tells us to serve flat and clean. He calls it flean. And it's something we always work on in practice. He always emphasizes it a lot, so I was glad that we were able to execute that tonight.
So the rest of your schedule stacks up. You guys go to Lewis Clark State and Walla Walla. A lot of pressure on you guys. I know you guys say pressure is a privilege, but how does that privilege feel going to Lewis Clark State and then going to Walla Walla to finish out your schedule before the CCC tournament?
Yeah, we're really excited for the competition. Every day that we get to play is a privilege, and we're really excited for it.
Excellent. Well, best of luck the rest of the way in your road schedule. On the Bushnell live stream, we're joined with the player of the game, Elijah Sanders. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the performance, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
So Bushnell wins the match, 3 sets to none. They won the first set 25-22, 25-23, and 25-20. A clean sweep over Evergreen State. They've also swept them this year on their schedule. The last matchup for Evergreen State and the Beacons was on October 4th, and that one was a 3-1 win for the Beacons, and this one a clean sweep here at Moore Center on senior night. Olivia, final thoughts?
I mean, I said it before when the match was over that there's no better way to end your senior night, especially with an impressive showing from a lot of the seniors. I mean, you had Maddie Ladd, you had Katie Velitz, you had Bella Parquet, so many people, Elijah Sanders, who we just spoke to. There's no better way to end regular season play at home, and now you just hope for the best for Bushnell going into away games. Yeah,
the season does not get any easier as they go to Lewis Clark State and Walla Walla. Both of those teams took them to 5 sets previously. Bushnell did come out with the win in both of those matches, but definitely not an easy task going to Lewis Clark State and going to Walla Walla to finish out. Hopefully they can maintain that 4th spot in the conference. They improved to 18-10 on the year, stay at 4th in the conference, improve to 13-7 in conference play, a 7-4 home record on the year, and now have a 2-match win streak. And for the Geoducks, they suffer another loss, their 20th loss on the year. They're 4-20 overall, still sitting at 10th in the conference with a 4-16 conference record, 2-11 record away from home, and now have lost 6 straight matches. But for everybody at the Bushnell live stream, this will just about do it. I'd like to say thank you to a few people for this incredible regular season. We're hoping that we'll see you in the playoffs, and we'll get to be here for a Bushnell home playoff match to start the CCC tournament. To everybody here at Bushnell in Bushnell SID, Nick Askew, to assistant SID, Kelsey Sekrin, to my color commentator, Olivia Arcenega. I'm Isaac Doobie. It has been a pleasure. This one, the Beacons win it in 3 sets. I'm Isaac Doobie saying aloha and good night from